All right, guys. Dr. Justin here this week. Dr. Jeff and I have decided we're going to tag team this week's topic. And the topic has always been, and what was planning to be, is all on scheduling. Both Dr. Jeff and I agree that this is a topic that we could talk for hours on. You can train for hours on this topic. And the reality is that God's got a plan in everything, in the sense that this topic comes at a time when I'm sure you guys have some worries, some fears, some thoughts around what's next in this environment that's ever changing and ever crazy. So it aligns perfectly with where we're at, even though we set this schedule back at the beginning of the year when we decided we were going to do this. Like I said, God has a plan. So I'm going to let Dr. Jeff open up this boot camp this month. So Dr. Jeff, go away, buddy.
Yeah, so I guess I'm going to start just by saying, yes, Justin and I are on the same page with scheduling, proper scheduling and a proper procedure and method for how to future schedule, how to fill your books in advance. I know in our clinic, I talked to Jen, who is our lead front desk coordinator, and just recently she shared with me that we have like 80%, and she might, say that that's even higher. 80% of our practice is scheduled out for the rest of 2020. That's a big number, and that feels good. And so being able to do that is super important. But we've got other things to discuss today, and so there's probably not going to be much of a discussion on the scheduling piece, although that kind of plays into this as well, because you feel a lot better about navigating these kind of situations when people are already on the schedule. Because if they're not on the schedule, they're not getting a text message saying that we'll see you tomorrow for your appointment. And so they might be thinking that we're closed. And we had a number of people that called thinking that we were closed, even though they were getting text messages saying, hey, we'll see you at your appointment at 11:30. So, I mean, it still happens, but a lot of problems get fixed just with those procedures being in place. But I wanted to start today by just kind of addressing the elephant in the room, which is right now a fear, and the fact that we have an opportunity to choose faith over fear. Faith in the human body to be well, faith in the principles of what chiropractic is founded on and how it works and how people stay healthy, how the immune system is controlled, and all of that. And faith in our creator that designed us, that made us this way to overcome. And then also faith, in God, that we're going to be okay. And, I preface that by saying God takes care of those who honor him. And so be honorable in your practice, and be honorable in what we do and how we treat our employees and how we treat our patients, how we treat our community and our vendors, and how we treat everybody in our life. Be honorable in that. And, I truly believe that God will bless those honoring thoughts and those honoring ways of doing business. And so I've got a little bit to share here. And this came across to me this morning. And so I just felt it was important to share this. And I know there's all kinds of people on this call, and we don't all share the same faith, and that's okay. Okay. So don't read into this that I'm pushing anything. This is for you to take in, do what you want with some of the materials and the thoughts here, but take it to heart. In Matthew, in the scriptures, in the Bible, in Matthew, it says, what sort of man is this that even the winds and seas obey him? And that was Matthew 8:27. And this was a story that was being told where Jesus was with his disciples, and these were fishermen. These were professional fishermen out on the Sea of Galilee, and there was a major storm. And these are the rough and tumble people, like, I can't remember what the name of that show is, where they're like fishing, that ice fishing show where they're, catching fish or whatever. And it's like all these crazy things happen out there. Wicked Tuna, or I don't know what the name of it is. But and anyway, these are rough and tumble people that man, they can handle the sea. That's where they're good. That's where they are on it. And they are freaked out because the storm is like sending waves over the boat. Things were breaking. Things were, leaks were happening. I mean, it was a bad situation. And what is Jesus doing? He's sleeping. He's in the corner taking a nap. And, they wake him up, save us, help, 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 save us. And finally, Jesus gets up and he calms the storm with his word and calms the storm. And then he asked this question. He said, why are you afraid? And it wasn't that they didn't believe in his ability to do it, to calm the storm, but it was their disbelief that Jesus was going to help them through it. Okay, they believed that he was God, that he could handle it, but they didn't know if he was going to leave them. I mean, there he was sleeping, that he was going to leave them while they're going through it. And so as we're dealing with this craziness, I mean, this is insane, what's going on. As we're dealing with this, know that God is going to be with you through it, And so I encourage you to build on your relationship with the creator of the universe. That's a cool thing to know, that he's on your side and he's with you. And so, another thing too is that there was a different situation where Peter was out walking on the water, or Jesus was walking on the water, and he said, Peter, come out here. And so when Peter was focused, and it was stormy as well, and when Peter was focused on Jesus and was walking toward him, in this scripture, everything was fine. But then he looked down at the waves and he saw the danger. And as soon as he focused on the danger and not focused on Jesus, he started sinking. And so that's a clear message, that we need to focus on the important pieces and focus on the important person and our purpose for what we're doing. Just keep our focus in the right place, and we're going to be okay. We're going to be guided through it. So with that, I'm going to give you a few quick tips here. Number one, God has power over every storm. Doesn't matter what you're dealing with. If the wind and waves don't concern him, then they shouldn't frighten you. You might not be able to change your situation, but you can choose to faithfully trust God in the middle of it. So trust that any storm that we're going to navigate, he's going to guide us through. Number two is fixing your eyes on Jesus leads to peace. Are you looking at the size of the storm or turning towards the one who can calm it? It's only by focusing on God, who knows every outcome, that you can navigate any situation with wisdom and peace. And I take that personally to heart, because, I do navigate, but the question is here, are you navigating with wisdom and with peace? Can you be at peace? It's one of the great things that I love about my good friend right there, Justin, is that no matter when I talk to Justin, the guy's so laid back and calm. He has a peace about him. And I know that there's sometimes some turmoil inside of Justin, just like there is inside of all of us. But man, when you can put a picture of calm wisdom out there for people to see, then people can see Christ and see God through us. And so it's important for us as leaders to show that calmness. And then number three, Jesus is always in your boat. It's easy to focus on your fears when you can't control your future, but thankfully Jesus knows your future. It's already set, and he's always on your side. He wants you to succeed. He wants you to make good decisions. He wants you to help people. I mean, what we do as chiropractors is so awesome. Our mission is so great, and the product that we have, chiropractic, is so amazing, that when we team it with the right attitude and the right heart and the right purpose, it is unstoppable. It is the best product / service and mission on the planet. I believe that wholeheartedly. and I do other things. I've got restaurants and I've got different things that I'm involved with, but man, there is nothing in the world like what we do every day by turning on the power of the human body to be well. And that kind of brings us to, what our mission is with dealing with this virus pandemic, and how are we explaining this, and how are we going about it. And every single day, new things are happening, and new discussions are occurring, and people are calling and asking certain questions, and we're responding. And so we have a lot to share between Justin and myself. And I know there's a few other people that probably have some experiences that are some positive ones that they can share with us as well. And we're going to kind of go through that. And so we're going to spend quite a bit of time here. In fact, probably the rest of the time, kind of going through what is our plan of action. How are we responding? How are we navigating? What can we do to help support each other? And Justin and I talked a little bit yesterday about this, and I think I'm going to make this executive decision, Justin, that we're going to meet every 2 weeks, or maybe it'll be like the first and the third Tuesdays. So we're going to increase the number of these Zoom calls, the Bootcamp calls, and I will open them up to some other people other than just big fish people, so that other people can participate as well and be in on this, because this is about our profession. And if you're a chiropractor and you work in a chiropractor, we love you, and we're in this boat together, and we're going to navigate it together. And so we're going to increase these bootcamp calls to every other week, or like first and third, something like that, until we get 60 days out or 90 days out, and then we'll kind of get back into our monthly groove. But until further notice, hey, let's meet a little bit more frequently so we can share, learn, encourage, comfort each other, and push each other, because there's going to be great opportunity in the midst of all of this. There is going to be great opportunity for our businesses to come out on the backside of this thing bigger, stronger, healthier, more focused than ever before, which is going to carry every single person that's on this call throughout their career, and probably set up the person who ends up buying your practice for a better career, because your practice is stronger for having navigated through this storm. So I want you to know that. And I also want you to know this. My wife, Dion, and I know Justin and Christy as well, we are praying for you guys. We are specifically praying, and we name you guys in our prayers. We are praying for you guys, and for your success, and for your wisdom, and your calmness, and for your heart, and for your passion, and for your kindness that you can show, and that people see the goodness and the greatness in who you are in your clinic. So know that we're praying for you, specifically, all of you on this call. I think it's good to know that there's other people going through the same crap that you are. I've dealt with all kinds of issues and problems, and most of the time it's just issues and problems that I'm having to deal with that maybe don't necessarily apply to everybody else. Man, this is one that we kind of know we're all in the same stinking boat. We're all dealing with the same thing. And so there's a little bit of comfort knowing that, hey, we're all dealing with this, right? And so let's navigate it together. Let's lock our elbows and go at this thing together. And what we can learn from each other and share with each other only helps the greater good here. So with that, maybe I'll kind of turn it back to Justin, and you can kind of navigate, and then I'll jump in as needed.
Yeah. So, I mean, I agree totally with Jeff in the sense of like, this is an opportunity for us to step out as leaders of our practices and leaders of our staff. We can choose to concern and be frivoled, and we're all concerned. We all have real thoughts and real things that are going on with this process. But the reality is you have an opportunity to step up and lead. You have an opportunity to reassure your staff, the people around you, that it's going to be okay, and that you're there to serve them, and start to create solutions and start to have conversations with your staff about what's the next steps. What are we continuing to do? And the number one thing is we're continuing to do the same thing we've always done. We're going to serve our patients. We're going to let them know we're here for them. We're going to be the positive beacon in a life of craziness and things that are going on. We're not going to close. We're not shutting down our fitness center. We're not stopping doing massages. We're not going to stop adjusting. We're going to adapt. We're going to continue to find ways to serve the people who need to be served the best that we can. And that's what we have to do as a team of Big Fish docs and clinics around the world. This is an opportunity to step up and get better at what you do. I think the number one thing that you can start to do is changing your table talk to get better, right? The best way to keep people on schedule and to keep them committed to your mission and purpose is to talk about the right things. So if in the past you've talked about, and I'm as guilty as everyone on this call, is talking about people's lives, they went on vacation, they're doing great things, because that's the relationship we've developed. But there's an opportunity to do that and then also educate them on why are they getting adjusted? What's the research showing that the adjustments and why it's important? What was the article in 2010 in September that came out and talked about the chiropractic adjustment and how it boosts the immune system? Give them specific information. Wipe down the tables more if they need it in between their adjustments. That's great. But the reality is we need to reassure them in the right place. And you need to come to this with certainty that you are the answer in keeping them healthy and keeping them well in this time of chaos and craziness. So your table talk needs to be planned out at this point. You need to get better at it. You need to know what you're going to say to every single patient. You need to know what you're going to say to staff when they come to you and ask questions. Well, this patient called and said this. This patient called and said this. What is your plan? If you have not been training your staff on anything, now is the time to get a rhythm of being a better leader in training your staff on scheduling, on educating. What do they know? What do they not know that you know? And you need to educate them on that. They need to understand why we are here to serve a population. We chose, whether you're a chiropractor, a CA, a massage therapist, a trainer, you chose a profession to serve human beings at their worst and at their best. And that's what we have to do. So don't step out of your space now and say, I can't handle this. God put you here. You can handle it. And like Jeff said, this is an opportunity to conquer fear. This virus is not a virus. It is fear. And it is fear that is going to drive you either crazy or make you stronger. You get to choose, and you have to start to do that. So the number one thing I believe, Jeff, we need to do in this situation and in keeping people on their schedule is to educate both your staff and your patients on why chiropractic and a healthy living lifestyle is the key component to staying healthy. What are your comments on that, Jeff?
Absolutely. This is going to be a really cool and interesting experiment in how well we've been educating for the past 2, 5, 10, 20 years. Because I know in our clinic, we've got people that are coming in asking, for more adjustments because of they know that it's good for their immune system. I've had people where I'm doing adjustments on them and they actually say, did you make sure to do the immune system adjustment on me? And I always say, I'm doing that on everybody. Everybody's getting that adjustment right now, in addition to, exactly what you need. And so, this is a good moment, kind of a check for us. Have we been doing a good job? We're going to find out now. How full are your books? And it's also another good check that if you haven't been, boy, ramp it up right now. And you don't ramp it up by scaring people or being crazy about it or whatever. You ramp it up by saying, yeah, I don't know if you know this, but when you get an adjustment, it actually boosts the number of T cells your body produces for a period of about 4 hours. I mean, that was one of the studies that was done on AIDS patients, where they actually saw a huge increase in T cell production for about 4 hours after an adjustment. That's interesting. Your body fights infection better after an adjustment. That's a big deal. And so everybody that gets an adjustment gets that boost, and it's just a natural boost, to make your body do what it was designed to do, which is to fight. So it's it's a part of the table talk, and we don't want to keep our talk. I mean, it seems like it's just blah, so much, everybody's talking about it. No, keep the conversations light, keep the conversations positive, keep the conversations about the future, about what's going to be happening, and tell a knock joke. If you got to, download a whole bunch of knock jokes, something to just lighten the mood a little bit. Play some different music. I mean, we always have the Christian music going in our office, but if you want to do Beach Boys or something like that for a couple of days, do that, or something to bring some spirit to the office. In fact, in my office, our doctors, and we've got a whole bunch of private offices upstairs, and then downstairs is where we have all of our patients. And I told my team yesterday, I said, anytime you have the opportunity, if you need to do some notes or whatever, come do it down on the floor so that people can see you. Be down on the floor so that you can interact with people. So when they walk in, they're not just kind of hearing quiet, because the quiet is kind of eerie, right? So engage with people, have fun with people. We're wearing green in the office today, so that's going to be good. And be a little bit goofy and lighthearted. Not that you're making fun of this, pandemic that we're dealing with, but a little bit of lightheartedness goes a long way to lifting the spirits of people, and that's part of our job as well.
So figure out your table talk. What are you going to say? A number of different things. Like Jeff said, keep it lighthearted, keep it positive. I've already talked to my staff that we're not mentioning the COVID virus, and we're not talking about the corona and all these other little things. We're not bringing that conversation to the table. We're just, if patients want to bring it up, we talk briefly about it, then we shelf it, and we talk about more positive and uplifting things, their immune system, the adjustment, what we're still focusing on with their care, why they started care, what's their plan, right? Because we got to have a plan. So and that's another thing with scheduling, you got to have a plan, right? Here's where we're going to start, here's what we're going to finish, and here's what we're out to accomplish. And we want to maintain that plan, and we want to continue to get you healthy, because that doesn't change. Wanting to be healthy doesn't change. Wanting to commit to making a shift in your health doesn't change. So we need to continue to do that so we get the results that you wanted when we started. So talk about the plan, talk about the initial, where are they at in their care? How are they doing? All these things that keep them on a schedule. What's their next appointment? Every time someone leaves my presence and Dr. Drew's and Dr. Travis's presence, the last question we ask them is, when is your next appointment? When am I going to see you next? And a lot of times I know that they're a weekly Wednesday adjustment, or they're every other week. And I'll just say, hey, I'm going to see you next week. Same time, same channel. So it's consistency in your conversation of saying it. And then when they go by the front desk, guess what they say to them? Hey, Jeff, looks like we got you on the schedule for next Wednesday. We'll see you then. We're going to continue to get you healthy. And then they're out the door, right? So that does not change. That's never changed. And if you're not doing that, now's the time to start. Are you asking them the last time you see them, when is their next appointment? When am I going to see you next? And if you know their appointment, tell them that. And the front desk should be doing the exact same. Jeff, do you guys do that in your office?
Yeah, and making sure that your message is the same, whether it's being delivered by somebody across the front desk, or delivered when somebody calls in, or delivered at the table, or delivered when somebody's getting a massage, or a PT appointment, or a training, or an exercise, or whatever. No matter where they are in the office, or what person is speaking to them, our message is the same. Now, the only way to make sure that that message is the same is to challenge your staff to give the message. So do some role plays. Pretend like your person, that's scared on the phone, and call and do this with them and role play it so that you know that your message is the same. Don't assume, boy, this is the last time in the world you would ever want to assume that the message coming from your part-time front desk person is going to be exactly what you want it to be. So don't assume it, test it, check it, ask it, role play it. It only takes you a minute to role play it. So just do it. Make sure that your message is on point, and that you're all on the same page, because everybody's got different opinions on this stuff. So just make sure that you guys are coming together as a team to give the same message. That's really important.
Don't get in a debate with people on this. It's just like politics. Stay away from it. Just if they got to say something, allow them to say it. Go, just do what I do. I say, got it. Let's get you adjusted. Let's talk about your spine. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about what we're trying to accomplish with this adjustment. and go into that. The other piece is Jeff, let's role play. What happens when, okay, Jeff, I am on a plan. I started about a month and a half ago. I'm still 3 times a week in your office, and I call up and I say to your front desk, hey, yeah, I'm not sure I want to come in right now because of this whole thing that's going on. And I'm going to probably need to take off a couple weeks. I'm uncertain. It's safe in your office. I'm not feeling like this is a good time to leave my house.
Yeah. Well, Justin, let's talk about that for just a second, because I want you to know what's happening. Number one, we're open. Okay. We're here. And part of our role as a healthcare company is that we're here to make sure that people stay healthy. So in some ways, we're actually busier working with a lot of patients to boost their immune system. So in some ways, we've actually gotten busier because of that, because people are choosing to get more adjustments. And so when you say that you want to cut back on your visits right now, I can completely respect that. But I do want to know what you're afraid of. I want to know what's going on in your life that makes you hesitant to come in.
I'm worried that, I might come in there and get something, or, leave my house and get something.
Well, let me tell you what we're doing for that concern. Number one, we're cleaning everything about 10 times more than we've ever done before. So we are disinfecting everything constantly in our office during our open times. So whether it be doorknobs, whether it be, countertops, tables, chairs, everything, we're doing our part to disinfect. Okay. Number two, we've spread things out in our office. So we've taken a few of our tables and we've moved them so that our adjusting tables are a little bit further apart. We've moved some of our chairs in our waiting area. So we've got a little bit better of a distance. We've got, more of that perfect distance that we want to be from other people and individuals right now. We even moved one of our roller tables and massage chairs out so we can kind of spread things out. And what we've done is we've also given opportunities for people to come into our office when we're closed in off hours. So if you just don't want to see a bunch of other people, if you just want to be like the only one, we are making exceptions for people to be able to come in during off hours and to get adjusted in a private room. So we have the ability to do that. If that makes a difference for you, then we're doing that for you. And also, here's something really cool too, is we're giving people the option to bring in like a blanket or a towel. And if you want to lay that across the table, so that you're not having to, put your hands and your face down on our table, you can bring in your own towel. We did that actually with one of our patients. Jen in our office did that with a patient who was canceling 30 days worth of adjustments. And as soon as she found out that she could bring in a towel or a blanket, she said, "Oh, seriously, you can do that? Well, of course we can. Okay, I'll see you in 10 minutes. And literally, it was like a light switch for her. As soon as we met that objection, that she could just bring a towel in, it made all the difference in the world. And now she's going to make her adjustments. So, find out what the objections are. It's just like doing a report of findings. So when somebody says, "I don't think I can do that," well, what do you ask? You ask, well, what's your objection? Is it, time, or is it money, or do you just, what is it? Are you just not ready to get well? Or, you got to find out what the objection is so that you can then try to overcome the objection. And so that really becomes the job of your front line, which is your front desk. They need to know how to have this conversation. If they don't, you got to train them.
Yeah, I agree. And so the nuggets that we got from what Jeff just said is, one, be willing to ask the questions, be willing to listen to people. They do have concerns, and although they may be silly and nonsense to us, they matter to them, right? There's
you gotta respect it.
Behind the fear is a story, and we got to find out what the story is. So understand that, listen to their objectives and ask questions. Give them opportunity and options to still come in. You know, one of the things we've done with our fitness center is that we're only allowing 5 people to work out at a time. When we started telling people that today, they all were like, great, I'll be in this afternoon. Great, I'll see you tomorrow morning, right? So they just want to know that you're making changes to accommodate them. Why 5 is a good number, I don't know, but it made them happy, right? So, because they've seen 10 in there and they know when there's 10 people in there, it's crazy and rocking and rolling. And so we made those things, right? So allow them to know that you're making changes to help them out. Allow them to bring a towel. Be willing to wipe down the tables many times over before they come in, and, you know, swallow your pride in the sense of like, and if anybody knows me, there's a lot of things that I think are super silly the rest of the world does, but I'm willing to make the changes to serve them. When we get off this call, I have a family of 4 that are coming in. They're scared to leave their house, but they want to get adjusted at 1 o'clock. I have another guy who's got the sniffles and sneezes, doesn't want to get exposed or anymore to other people as he's getting over his cold. I'm adjusting him at 1:30. So like Dr. Jeff said, be willing to show up at your office early and stay late for the next 2 to 3 weeks. Commit to the mission and the purpose that you said you were on board for, to serve human beings and help them get through this time. And I promise there is a eternal reward for you in heaven and on earth to continue to serve. But you got to be willing to put the time in more now than ever. You got to be willing to work. You got to be willing to show up. And you got to educate your staff. So if you're not role playing like that, Dr. Jeff just did with me, with your staff, and if you didn't take a bazillion notes, because I will bet you've covered some of those things, but maybe not all of them. I never thought about separating the roller tables further. I got 4 of them stacked on top of each other. And at one point yesterday, there were 4 people on them and nobody cared. I got massage chairs that are 3 side by side, and there were 3 people on those and they didn't seem to care, but one person might care. And so that's a great idea, is to separate things a little bit more, move something out. It's going to be okay if people have to wait a little bit longer. You know, I've told my staff, listen, if there's 6 people on my adjusting schedule for a certain 15-minute time slot, and somebody says they want that, say, you know what, let's move you to 15 minutes later. Let's move you to a half hour later, because that's when, you know, there's going to be more availability in the schedule. And they're going to appreciate you doing that, knowing the current situation that we're in. But if you haven't role played with your staff on this topic, they're not going to know. They're just not.
You touched a little bit on respecting others' opinions, you know, and you said that nicely. You know, other people just don't have the same philosophy that we do, and we might roll our eyes, but this is not your opportunity to get on a soapbox and start preaching to people, okay?
No.
Because people are scared. And the worst thing you can do is feed into their fear and or feed into their worry by being an ass. So, you know, respect and honor their thought process, and do what you can to educate and keep asking good questions of them and giving options, but always respect their opinion. You know, whether it be a topic like vaccination, or, you know, there's all kinds of other stuff that we deal with all the time. You know, I respect anybody for their opinion. Even though it's not mine, I still respect their opinion, but then I give them a little information, or I give them a website to look at, or I give them, you know, something to chew on, and plant a seed so that they can slowly, you know, adapt what we feel is the right way to live our lives, and a healthier way to live. And that is our job. I mean, we are selling that. We are selling a good way to live your life so that you have a more productive, longer, and better quality of life for your entire lifetime, and that you pass that on to other generations as well. So don't be afraid to be a part of that, but there's a way to do it tactfully, right? Without offending anybody.
Right. And I think, you know, the flip side of that is there are going to be people that are just not going to come in. That's a fact. And if anybody says that doesn't happen at their office, they're lying to you. Don't believe what you read on social media and all these things, that everything's so great in someone else's life because they got it all figured out, because they don't. So people are going to say, you know, I'm just not comfortable coming in. So you need to be forward thinking on the conversation and train your staff as such. So what we've done is we said, great. most people are saying 2 weeks right now. It seems like 2 weeks is a really common thing because I feel like people feel once schools have a solution for their kids, their lives are going to somehow go back to normal, right? So a lot of people are like, hey, we just need to take 2 weeks off. I understand. Like one gal called in today. She said, my son, he's an athlete. She's like, I really want him to still come in, but we just feel, we need to take a couple weeks off. We're just going to stay home. We really appreciate all the emails, all the Facebook posts, all the communication your office has given with us. We feel safe in your office. We just not sure about the rest of the world. So we're going to take 2 weeks off. So our follow-up question is we don't badger them. We try to tell them, all the pieces and what we talked about, and they still say, well, I'm just going to take a couple weeks off. Great. Is it okay if I put you on a list? We're going to touch base with you in 2 weeks from now, and we're going to get you back on the schedule that we originally started. Or if this kid had visits out till June, right? He was scheduled out till June. So we simply said to the mom, listen, 2 weeks out from today is April 1st. We're going to go ahead and we're going to delete the appointments between now and April 1st. But once April 1st comes, we're just going to assume you're coming back into the office. We're going to leave that scheduled. You'll get a text like you always do telling you the appointment is at this time. And then we're just going to continue to see you at that point in time. And the mom was like, that is fantastic. We'll keep that appointment and we'll see you then.
Yeah.
Right. So if they're already scheduled out, tell them you're going to keep them on the schedule. And if they're not scheduled out, schedule them for their next most comfortable appointment. Put them on a list. Give them a call. Be willing to do the extra work in a time when you need to show them you care. Again, it's all about showing them you care and having that procedure with your staff, right? Because I don't answer the phones here. My staff answers the phones. They have that conversation. Have that conversation if you haven't. Get them on a list. Figure out how you want to do it in your office. Keep them on a schedule. If they're already scheduled, which hopefully they are scheduled out more than just a week or a day, get them to the point where you get them back in the office, whatever date that is.
So you did a nice job of going full circle there. We are right back to scheduling. Okay. and this is the exact same technique that you should be using in your office all the time for when people go on vacation, because people go on vacation all the time. And sometimes they're gone for 2 weeks, or we have people that, because they're in Minnesota, they're snowbirds. So they leave in January, February, March. Sometimes they're gone for 3 months. So what do? You make sure that they've got an appointment at the end of March or the beginning of April so that they get that text reminder, or they're at least in your schedule. So if they don't show up for some reason, then your front desk knows, oh, Bob's supposed to be back from Florida and he didn't show up. I wonder what's going on. Give them a call and you find out, and they're on your recall schedule. So if they're not on your schedule and they're not in your recall schedule, then poof, they are gone. Are you going to just count on remembering? I mean, there's just no way. You're not going to remember everybody. So get it in the schedule, honor them, just like what Justin said. Make sure that they've got their next appointment and that you'll look forward to seeing them on that day.
Exactly. And then like you said, this is how you should be doing it every day, not just in crisis.
I'm going to touch on just for a second, kind of an opportunity. I was coaching somebody else this morning and having a conversation, and in his office, they're really looking at this as an opportunity for some of those families that are kind of hard to get in because they don't have school. A lot of them don't have work. And so, mom, dad, kids, they're sitting around, and it's like, well, it's an opportunity for them to come in. And so they're actually, really focused on getting these families that are tough to corral because they got sports and all kinds of programs and stuff and work, and it makes it hard to get in. Well, right now, come on in. Let's get you in more. Let's get you in actually 3 times this week instead of 2. We oftentimes do that when people are either sick or don't want to get sick in this situation. So get them in more and be a positive part of that. One other thing I wanted to touch on, because I know it's been talked about a little bit today, numerous conversations that I've had today, and that is they're calling for the closing of a bunch of different types of businesses. And amongst those businesses was spa. Okay. And that's what I've seen so far. And like Justin mentioned, stuff is changing every stinking hour. So, we're going to stay on top of it. That's why we're going to, more frequent calls like this, the boot camps as well. But right now, they want spas where they're doing massages to stop. So spas are seen as non-essential. But in our office, we are a healthcare clinic. Okay, so this is me personally. Right now, this is our decision that we are a healthcare clinic that provides a number of services. But our healthcare clinic right now is allowed to be open, and they're going to have to take the keys out of my hand to get my doors locked. And so I'm not going to break the law, but I mean, we're staying open until we are absolutely forced to close our doors, and we're going to provide the services that we provide, whether it be PT or chiropractic, massage, nutrition. All those things are essential for people being healthy. Justin mentioned limiting to 5 people working out. I know some gyms that are really doing some cool things. They're actually putting body weight exercise programs together for people so that they're not reliant on touching equipment. So instead of using equipment, barbells, dumbbells, and stuff like that, where people are having to touch all this stuff and kind of share touching things with other people in the class, they're just doing body weight things. And you can do all kinds of cool exercise programs for people just with their body weight. And if somebody doesn't want to do that, you can actually send them the program at home, and then you can maybe give them a 5-minute accountability phone call or something like that to see how it went. I mean, there's all kinds of ways that we can actually ratchet it up and provide an even better service than we ever did before. So there's opportunities amidst the drama and the chaos. So don't be a part of the chaos and the drama. And sometimes even our staff, sometimes it can, our interactions can be kind of dramatic and chaotic. So keep supporting each other and loving each other through it, and come up with new ideas and things that we can do, and that'll help everybody.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you just gotta put the message out there to people that you are here to serve, that you are a healthcare facility, and that you will continue to serve. And I'm with Dr. Jeff. Even if I'm the last one here, still adjusting spines and the world's crazy, I'm still gonna be here. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I've been here 10 years, and I'm gonna be here another 10. So you just gotta plant your feet firm. Give up on the anxiety, pray about it, whatever it is that's going on in your heart, you just got to let go. Call me, call Dr. Jeff. This is an opportunity for you to grow as a leader in yourself and in your practice. So have you been missing your workouts? I go back to the same thing with every doc I talk about. Have you been missing your self-care, your workouts? This morning, I got a workout in at 5:30 this morning at my own fitness facility because, I'm not scared of the germs. Then I got a massage this morning, right? And this, before I start my shift, I'm going to get adjusted again. I got adjusted yesterday, correct? I mean, and I had a healthy breakfast. Are you doing the things to take care of yourself so that you can serve the masses? This is an opportunity to get your head right, your brain right. Spend some time, quiet time. Spend a little time praying. I told a patient yesterday, this is God's way of taking the steering wheel and driving, because we've been in America thinking we should be driving this bus and that we're somehow in control. And this is an opportunity for you to realize you've never been in control, and now he's showing you that you are not in control. And so you can choose to let go of that control and help lead this ship with him, or you can continue to fight it. And that creates more anxiety, more stress, more depression, and issues in your own life that you can't serve outside of yourself. So use this as an opportunity to grow, to lead, and to be bigger. Because I know we all got a little bit of anxiety in our heart. It exists. But it's how you manage it and how you navigate that now more than ever is going to make the difference in everything.
Yeah. No, I was grateful and thankful yesterday. Dr. Brian in our office just came up to me in the middle of my adjusting area and prayed for me. And I appreciated that so much. And I pray for our doctors and our team as well. And, our staff is the lifeblood, and we don't want anybody to be reckless. And so we want everybody to be smart. But in a way, I mean, this is kind of like our military. Our people in our military are putting themselves in danger every day. hopefully not in a reckless way, but in a smart way. They're out there protecting. We are doing the same thing. We are out there. We are open. And like I said, it's going to take somebody to take the keys out of my hand to get me away from helping people. So take on that armor and own it in the whatever way you can and you believe is right for you. So I'm not saying you need to do anything that you don't want to do, but don't be afraid. Have faith. Have faith in who you are and your belief system and what you do, because we're out there. We're saving lives right now. If you don't think that we're not saving lives right now by doing adjustments on people that are being exposed to who knows what out there at the grocery store or whatever, you're wrong. We are saving lives, and we're going to continue to do it.
Amen.
All right. I don't know if you have any questions that popped up, Justin. I don't see any here, but maybe I don't have the right screen.
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Brian mentioned, that, he had a share. He said to share wins. We had a win in our office who came to the front desk asking what the plan was. And she had said, well, listen, if I get sick or can't come in, keep running my card. We have to keep your doors open. I can always make up the visits, but it's important that you guys keep the lights on. And she said she was just more concerned about us docs than her. And because she gets it, she knows people need us. And she knows that, we need to keep our doors open. And that's one good conversation to talk about, is that if people, want to discontinue care and say they're on a cash auto debit plan, and they're concerned about it, what I've trained my staff to say is, listen, we're going to continue to run your card, but those visits don't expire. If you're not feeling comfortable coming in right now, we'll just add those on to the end of your plan, and you're going to continue to get to utilize those, but know that we're going to be ready to serve you when you come back in. Let's get you scheduled for your next appointment at this date or whatever. So having that plan to reassure them how you're going to manage their auto debit, if you have that. Just my fitness center is all auto debits, all cash. And so we've had a lot of conversations around that and where that looks to be. And then Tricia said, this is all good. Another thing to remember, our injury prevention and wellness mission is critical now too. We need to keep serving the ease and the burdens on our medical providers as well, right? I mean, the more we can serve this population, the less people that are going in to the clinics and the facilities. I was talking to a friend of ours who's a nurse at Regions. She does a lot of the education with the nurses there. She's higher up, and she said they're at 5% left of capacity at their facility. They have not seen not a single coronavirus in their hospital in Regions, but they've created a lot of measures to try to keep the people in ICU and some of those places healthy. So we can take on the people that have the flus, that feel they need to have some care of someone taking care of them, a plan. We serve that plan. So be willing to educate, be willing to talk about it, be willing to continue to push. We had new patients calling from Google yesterday, and, there are people in need of us still, and that are willing to say, you know what, I'm going to go get healthier because this is going on in my body, in my life, and I need to find someone. And they know that it's busy it's kind of like the tap room. Okay. So now I know restaurants are closed, but here's a great example. Down the street from the Tamarack Tap Room, which is here in Woodbury, which Dr. Jeff and I are both part of, a new place called the Steakhouse or Texas Roadhouse opened up. Okay. And there was some fear by some of the servers and some people that said, well, that's going to take away our business. And the reality, it boosted business because there were so many people that wanted to go to that Roadhouse out to dinner. They got there and realized it's an hour wait. It's a 2-hour wait. It's whatever wait. And they said, you know what? We were planning on going out to eat. There's a restaurant a block away. Let's go there. We've been there. And Taproom has been overwhelmed by that opening. So be that in your community. When people can't get into their medical doctor and they're struggling to get answers, be the answers. Be the place that they can call, come in, get taken care of whenever they need to be taken care of. Take the overflow of patients, utilize this opportunity to educate, grow your practice, and be bigger in your community.
I think Dr. Ross is looking for a little attention.
Where's everyone's St. Patty Day outfit? It's underneath here. My underwear are green, pal. I'm going to show them.
Let's not show that. But Ross, you look great, man.
You do.
Good job.
You're always going all out, Ross. I love it.
Any other questions out there? Any wins that you want to share or concerns, questions, stuff like that? And of course, anybody can always text me, email me if, Jeff@spinesavers.com. That's Jeff@spinesavers.com. If you have any stuff you want to shoot, man, my phone blew up yesterday. I think my inbox, I was at 2,400 emails. Things went bonkers yesterday. So, but that's okay. If you have a concern, I'm here for you. Justin's here for you. All the Big Fish team, the family is here to support each other. So, so reach out. Don't just wonder.
Reach out. Wine, come on over to my house and we'll have a glass of wine.
All right. Anything else from everyone? Otherwise, we'll be done for today.
I think that's it, Dr. Jeff.
All right. So this recording is going to be in the Big Fish Vault. The Big Fish Vault is accessible by anybody that's part of the Big Fish family through coaching or investing in clinics, etc. So we will have this recorded. If you're not part of the Big Fish family, we don't coach you or whatever, but you would like to get this, email me and I can have Terry or Brooke send it to you so that you have it if you want to play it for your staff or anybody, your associates, or send it to a friend, a colleague. We're happy to share this. So it'll be in the Big Fish Vault where we normally put things. And then be watching your emails for our next boot camp a couple of weeks from now.
Amen. 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 All right, guys.
All right.
Love and appreciate you all. Serve the masses and let us know if you need anything.
Mission is great.
Thanks, guys.
Go get them.
Bye, guys.